Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Hump day. How's all my recovery enthusiasts out there? I wanted to get on here real quick because I did a group yesterday and it was really interesting. So they talk a lot in the halls of AA and NA about this concept of powerlessness, right? And that we're powerless over our addiction. We're powerless over our condition, the fact that we are addicts and alcoholics. And I think sometimes people get a misconception of this powerless concept. I know I did, and I felt really, really disempowered. I really felt like I was powerless over a lot of stuff, and so it caused me not to act. It caused me to just sit back and sort of do what I was doing all my life and let life happen to me, right? And a series of reactions to life instead of preparing and doing my life, right? So purposefully, that's a tough one for me to say, purposefully living with intention, right? So all this concept is fairly new for me, probably in the last 7 to 10 years, I guess, that I've been really practicing this purposefulness. And so getting back to the powerlessness, sure, yes, there's a lot of things we're powerless over, but I think what's important to really look at is the things that we do have power over, right? Things that we can take our power back and be empowered by. And so recognizing that, and another concept too is that this willpower that we have, because we do have some willpower over certain things, we can expand upon, we can strengthen, we can practice it and make it stronger. So our willpower may be weak when we first come into recovery, but if we practice certain things, we can actually strengthen it. So willpower over, I have a choice of who my friends are today, who I am going to allow in my life today. I actually have willpower over what family members I'm going to have in my life today. And as difficult as that may be, and it was extremely difficult, especially in my early recovery, learning how to love from a distance is really crucial for my recovery, vital for my recovery, and I have the power over that, right? I don't have to show up for every argument. I don't have to participate in every disagreement, right? I can agree to disagree. I can walk away. Again, these things aren't always easy, especially when you feel righteous or right in something that, you have a disagreement about, you want to make your point across. Sometimes you have to take a step back and say, what is it worth to be right? What is it worth to have this argument? What is the end goal am I looking for? And is it worth my, my peace of mind, my serenity? I have the power of, not putting myself in those predicaments, those situations. I can prepare myself, so if I am going into an environment that, there's going to be people drinking or possibly taking some substances, I have a plan put in place so that if I'm feeling uncomfortable or a certain way, I'm making sure that I've notified my network. I let them know what's going on so that, and I ask permission ahead of time. Listen, I'm going to this function. There may be people there getting high. I don't know how I'm going to respond to it. I think I'm going to be okay, but in the off chance that I'm not, do you mind if I, give you a call? This way, if I'm calling them and letting them know ahead of time, when I'm in that predicament and I'm feeling uncomfortable, I'm not entertaining the thought where, I don't know if they're going to be available, or I don't want to feel like a burden. I've already asked their permission. They already said yes. Give me a call. We we'll discuss it. We'll maybe grab a cup of coffee. I mean, I don't know what the situation will be, but plan for it in advance. This way you're more apt to utilize that network and not make these excuses, right? So we want to reduce the amount of excuses. So I have that choice today. I also can practice my willpower with delaying gratification, right? So one of the key elements in addiction is impulsivity, right? We react, we respond, we automatic, and that's what a habit really is, right? It's acting automatically. It's doing something automatically without thinking. And I've discussed this in other videos. Our brain does that as a shortcut, right? Because it takes a lot of energy to think. So it makes habits. It makes things that if we do them consistently, it says, oh, well, when we do this, so we're going to automatically do it next time. So it's not having to think. It's not reinventing the wheel every time you have that same situation. It knows that it does this when that situation occurs, right? So that's the short version of my explanation. And so that's how habits are formed, good and bad, right? And so if we're used to responding in a certain way, we have to stop that. We have to interject, and we have to do something different. And it's going to be uncomfortable at first, but the more we do that, the more we practice, the more we train our brain. This is not what we do anymore. This is what we do. We do something different. And I think that's why it's important to not just stop a behavior, stop something, but replace it with something healthy, so you don't have that void. So for instance, if I am in the habit of eating a bag of chips at night while I watch TV, and I want to get out of that habit, I could, first of all, I realize I have to stop eating the chips. So I'm going to stop eating the chips, and maybe I'm going to replace watching TV with another activity so that I'm not linking, so I'm not having that void, right? When I'm watching TV, I'm like, oh, what do I do with my hands? I'm feeling, fidgety. And so I could replace it with another activity, whether that's meal prep for the week, whether it's another hobby, arts and crafts, or woodworking, or playing an instrument, or hula hooping, or spending time with my family, having a game night. I mean, the list could go on, right? So that's your job. You got to figure that out for yourself. But breaking the habit, replacing it with something else, and it takes time. It takes practice. It's going to seem awkward at first. It's not going to seem natural, right? But developing willpower it's like strengthening a muscle. It's like exercising a muscle, right? The more you use it, the stronger you'll get at it. If I want to wake up at a certain time every morning because I have this goal of writing a book, let's say I work full time, and I realize the only time I have is if I wake up an hour early, I can work on my book. And being disciplined and not shutting the alarm off, or not hitting the snooze button, right? First of all, replacing that, instead of, oh, I gotta get up, is, oh, I get to get up because I'm working on this goal and working on my book, and every day I get up, I'm one step closer to my goal, right? Maybe replacing those thoughts. But every day you wake up at that time and not hit the snooze button, you're strengthening your willpower. You're strengthening that automatic response in your head. So reducing the instant gratification. It's funny because one of the clients at work yesterday in the group, I asked her, in regards to, we had different topics, but in regards to money, what is it something that you have control over, and what is something that you can't? And she says, when I'm in the mall and I see, Vans, she has a shoe thing, whatever, a shoe fetish. She goes, when I see Vans, I'm powerless over buying them. And I said, no, that's not true. You're powerless over the price that they have for them, right? You're powerless over the fact that they have the Vans in the store and that they're having them displayed in the window so pretty. but you're not powerless over your ability to buy them or not, right? That's where your willpower comes in. And developing your willpower could mean delaying it and saying, you know what, I'm not going to buy it right now. Maybe I'll buy them tomorrow. I'll think about it tomorrow. So kind of like delaying that instant gratification. And sometimes by just waiting, you're strengthening your willpower because you didn't buy them automatically, impulsively. And you can do that with food, you can do that with saving money, you can do that. The concept of one day at a time is basically on delayed gratification, right? I'm not going to use for today. Tomorrow is a different day. I'll deal with tomorrow, but I'm just not going to use today. Or sometimes they even break it down. I'm not going to use this hour. I will see how I feel in an hour from now, but I'm just going to get through this hour. I'm going to maybe distract myself or call somebody or whatever, but I'm not going to use for this hour. So that's delayed gratification. So whether they, pose it as this or not, you're actually developing willpower. You're strengthening your willpower by living one day at a time and delaying that gratification. I hope this has helped you. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you remember to let the people that you love know that you love them. I hope that you check out my website and check out my other content at recoveryenthusiast.com. And as always, stay blessed. And until next time, guys,